Right guys, before we fit this, what we're going to do, I'm going to remove the chain guard just so you can line it up and see it properly. All it is on this particular model, it's just 2 Allen bolts, and it's just an ordinary Allen screwdriver, or some people might call them a posi driver, depends. So now we'll take that out of the way. That chain is well lubed up. I do like to take care of the old chain. As you can see there, it's well creased. Now this little tool sits on top of the sprocket, so what I'll do, I'll just go to the back of the bike and demonstrate how it's fitted. Right guys, with this little machine here, this little gadget, what you do, you fit this over the sprocket. So you just undo that and you slip it over the chain like so, and then you clamp it up. Now you don't need to clamp it up too hard, it just needs to be held in place. If you move your wheel forward, you then, the chain there, you stand behind it at the very back of the bike and you line it up that way, that bar dead straight, and you eye it in with the chain. And then what you do, if for any reason it's out, once you've adjusted your chain up, you have to loosen the bolts here, the lock nuts on the bolts. That way you can bring the back wheel axle backwards or forwards, whatever you have to do, suit the job you're doing. Now for this demonstration I'm not going to loosen any of that, because basically I'm just showing you how the tool works. I'm going to give you a photograph now of the back of it, what it looks like. So as you can see, it is a simple little job, and it just comes in 2 parts. You can pick these up handy enough, they're not that expensive. You can pick them up on the internet or any good tool shop. This one I picked it up on the internet. Right guys, once you've got the little gadget in place on top of the chain, and when it's attached to the sprocket, what you've got to do, loosen the lock nut there and pull it back a little bit, and then to move the spindle back the way, undo that bolt there and it pushes it back slowly. Or if it's back too far, you just put it in the way. So you've got one of these either side, and these are your adjusters, and that there is your lock nut. Now on the back there, that is where you've got the markings, and you've got them either side like demonstrated in the photograph, but basically I'd class them as guidelines only and let your tool actually do the accurate work. And then once you've got it lined up and sat in position, and you've got the right adjustment on your chain as well, because you don't want to have it too loose and you don't want to have it over tightened, then lock the lock nut up in place and then tighten up your axle. Now when you've tightened up your axle and it's all in place, make sure these are all the way home, that there's no space for movement, and then check everything again just to double check that it's in line, and then also check that you've got the right adjustment on the chain as well. You know, don't just take it for granted that when you've done it the first time. Once you've done it and locked it all up, recheck it again. And it would be a good idea to see the thread there, if you get a little bit of copper grease or any kind of a grease, just to stop them seizing up, just to keep them fresh. They actually do look dry at the moment, because I give the bike a good old power wash with the salt there recently, but before the day's out this will all be cleaned up and done again. I find it very, very handy indeed. It's something that every motorcyclist should have in his toolbox. Now if you look in there, you've got 3 little notches at the bottom, and also you've got 3 little notches at the top there. That's the markers for this side of the bike, and you've also got the same on the other side. To have them in line, that would actually be near enough. It'd be very, very close to it, but the idea of this tool will actually put it spot on for you, and you'll actually find that chain runs quieter as well, but when it is actually in line and everything's straight, it does run more quieter, and the chain doesn't wear as quick. Well guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It's only a short video giving you a quick demonstration. This video was actually requested from a friend of mine, Dino, who just asked me to put it out there. So Dino, hope you're pleased with it, and hope you give it the thumbs up as well. Thanks very much everybody for dropping in, and as I say, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I'd really appreciate it if you do. Thanks very much. Stay safe till next time.